Let's begin with a very quick overview of mentoring in African universities. And I'd like to note that you can have two types, maybe more. That's institutional mentorship, where one institution mentors the other. And of course, you can have individual mentoring. Because no one single institution or one single individual has all the attributes that the mentor, the mentee will want to emulate, we can have multiple mentors. And these multiple mentors can be customized for the specific need of the institution or the specific need of the individual. For instance, I have about 4 or 5 mentors, people who mentor me in the area of leadership. I have mentors in my profession. I have some technology mentors. So we can have multiple mentors, not necessarily one, because all the attributes of that you want to emulate are not contained in one person or one institution. So as we have here, you can have a research mentor, and you can have a mentor for your teaching functions. You can have a mentor who will show you the way, walk you through technology as it advances. There are several models of mentorship. We'll take a few here. There's the cloning model. Oh, I want to be like X person. I want this university in Africa. I want to be like this university in Europe or North America, or an institution, a university within the same country. So you want to produce, in quotes, a duplicate copy of the institution or of the person. The other is the nurturing model. Nurturing model, you have like a parent figure who nurtures the younger one, and so on. Then you have the friendship model. You are peers, and there is no significant gradient in the hierarchy. And of course, you have the apprenticeship model. There's also reverse mentoring, where a younger person, I actually have a number of younger mentors, who are more skilled in technology than I am, mentoring me in the area of technology. I mentor them in the area of leadership and in research, but they mentor me in technology. So you have what we call reverse mentoring. After this brief overview, let's now survey some good practices in mentorship in African universities. Yes, we'll begin this narrative with President Olusegun Obasanjo, Nigeria's former president. He was president for 8 years. He was addressing the Association of West Africa Universities, AWAU, recently, actually on November 20th, 2015, in which he gave a keynote address which looked at the issue of mentorship. For President Obasanjo, mentorship, there are two sides to the mentorship coin, and I'm quoting him exactly as he read that in his keynote address. On one side, we have senior persons who have knowledge and skills to which mentees should share, but who are unwilling to share such knowledge and skills. In some instances, potential mentors have only age on their side and are far from up to date in their disciplines. The other side of the coin are potential mentees who are too lazy or do not wish to be bothered to make themselves available for mentorship. With the aging professorate population, the institution of a sustainable mentorship program is becoming urgent for West African universities. How do we tackle this turbulence? I have a few suggestions. That's him, President Obasanjo. First, we should establish a mentorship capacity building program that will provide university staff with skills in mentorship. All university lecturers should be encouraged to take this course that can be delivered through some distance learning methodologies. Second is to positively reward active and productive mentorships in each university. And third is to negatively reward or indirectly punish Lecturers who are not engaged in any form of mentorship through sanctions inserted in the criteria for appointment and promotion. To avoid inbreeding, mentors should be sought far afield outside the university. Thank you for these words of wisdom, His Excellency President Olusegun Obasanjo. Again, thank you very much, Your Excellency President Obasanjo. Now we are moving on to Ghana to see good practices in university mentorship.
I am Professor Clifford Tego, former Vice Chancellor of the University of Ghana and currently Chairman of the National Council for Tertiary Education in Ghana. The issue of mentorship is taken very seriously in the Ghanaian tertiary education system, and it involves at least two levels. One is inter-university mentorship and intra-university mentorship. At the inter-university level, by law, as part of the accreditation process, all new private universities, before they are set up, must have affiliation with an existing chartered university. Now, what this means is that the chartered university is going to be responsible for all the academic issues in that private university. Now, one, the mentor institution will ensure that the mentee institution conforms to all the regulations governing academic issues in the country. For instance, entry qualifications of students must conform to the norms established by the Council for Tertiary Education. The mentor institution must vet all the lecturers who are going to teach in that new university. The mentor institution is responsible for supervising the examination system of that mentee institution. And for a period of 10 years, the mentor institution will actually award its own certificates to these institutions until they become autonomous. In the event that the mentee institution has its accreditation revoked or has to close down, the mentor institution actually undertakes to absorb the students of that university. Now, this therefore places a lot of responsibility on the mentor institution. At the intra-university level, it is mainly an issue between senior faculty and the young faculty. In one university, for instance, the University of Cape Coast, the appointment letter for a new lecturer assigns him or her to a senior professor for mentorship purposes. The senior professor is responsible for making sure that the young person knows all the rules, helps that young person in issues of writing of proposals, writing of academic papers, and so on and so forth. And for purposes of renewal of appointment, as well as for promotion, comments of the mentor will be taken into account. So it's a very serious situation which we all think we need and we are benefiting greatly from. And we recommend that to other universities in the sub-region.
Yes, thank you very much, Professor Tego, for the Ghanaian examples of institutional and individual mentorship. Let's now move over to Nigeria and see what good practices we're having there.
My name is Abdurrashid Nalla, Vice Chancellor of Kwara State University, Malete, Nigeria. Mentorship is a crucial, process in the university system, and I believe that there has to be a structure for this. And in Kwara State University, we have introduced it in a way that every aspect of the university, including obviously the graduates, the undergraduate, and the academic, in terms of the staff, have aspect of mentorship. I say that it must be structured because there must be a process of evaluation, a process of reward, a process of renewal and renew, in ways that you try to review and improve upon it. At the undergraduate system in KWASU, we do have the undergraduate research program where we expect undergraduates to work under the mentorship of faculty in ways that they get research grants, they work on research, different kind of proposals that are reviewed, and eventually the supervisors are rewarded for taking their time out of their regular schedules of teaching to supervise students' research. Mentorship also under academic staff is extremely, in fact, even more important because every semester, and we do expect it in KWASU that every semester the head of the department must have a record of what is happening, the mentor and the mentee, what kind of activities have they done for the semester. So at the beginning of the academic year, the head of the department will invite every academic staff to say, have you met with your mentor? What are the discussions? What are your plans for the year? And by the end of that academic year, he wants to have a report from the mentor and the mentee so that, again, these staff are able to actually cite this experience in their own portfolio for promotion, for retention, and so on and so forth. But what is even very important is that there should not be any level that is not enjoyed from mentorship or mentoring. And what we do is that we have what we call a professional development plan. If, for example, a professor, because we do have in KWASU what we call post-professorial review. Post-professorial. So if you're a professor, after 3 years, you're supposed to submit a portfolio that shows all your achievements in the 3 areas. And if you are lacking in some of them, we then ask you to develop a professional achievement plan, professional development plan. And that plan, you have to find a mentor, not necessarily within the university, but anywhere, even international. And we allow you to go out for a semester, for a year. We find money for you to go and develop yourself in those areas of your weakness. And when you come back, you get a report from your mentor. We also make sure that you are now able to do something great. But what is also important is that there is a reward system. Because if you do well, the mentor, the mentee are rewarded. Thank you, sir.
Okay, my name is Professor Michael Faborode, former Vice Chancellor of Okebukola University, Leone, Nigeria, and currently Secretary General of the Committee of Vice Chancellors. On the issue of mentorship, I think it's a very big task for universities that they must take very seriously because it's also related to the issue of succession. One, staff members who are coming new to the university must be properly integrated, must be properly introduced to the university system so that they can be coordinated in the way they embrace their goal in the university, in the way they pursue along with the vision of the university. So it is very important that staff members need to be introduced to the systems of the university by having some at least a week of training. Also, at each level, the departmental level, the faculty level, there must be attended by the leadership of the various units, departments and faculties, particularly professors, to be responsive in their duties. They must be research leaders and they must encourage those who are just coming up, as well as graduate students, because this is the way you can develop the next generation of academics, next generation of researchers. and next generation of leaders. This approach of trying to carry along the young ones is very important. In addition to organize trainings, both within and outside the system for them, they must be encouraged to attend conferences. They must be encouraged to be able to belong to research groups where they can work and get their works published properly in reputable journals. These are things that they must be introduced to, and they must be encouraged to imbibe them as part of the ethics of their normal life. And in addition to that, when there are leadership trainings, either within the university or outside the university, they must be encouraged to also attend those systems. I think it is very, very important that university leaders must take this very seriously. So it is also important for the Vice Chancellor to see that the development of the young academics is factored into the staff development program. In the first place, all lecturers must have their PhDs. So those who are encouraged, either they make first class, the undergraduates who are encouraged to stay must be encouraged to start their postgraduate studies immediately, and also must be trained along the lines of leadership and service delivery. They must be encouraged to see themselves as potential leaders in the university system. Okay, my name is Professor Mike Faborodi, former Vice Chancellor of Leone University, Leone, currently Secretary General Committee of Vice Chancellors of Nigeria. When I was Vice Chancellor, a number of things that we did to encourage the development of youth, that is allowing them to grow up in the system, included several factors. One is that in our even management team, we try to bring in some of the young lecturers to come and help, not just only in gathering data, not only collecting information, but in learning the ropes. Once they see the way we are working, they also learn how to do things that are managerial. And that way, we started bringing the category of leadership. One thing we also did was to encourage diversification, decentralization of decision making, so that at the faculty levels, at the departmental levels, leaderships can be developed. And that enabled us to have people who are able to survive the system. The other aspect was also promoting gender equity, ensuring that women leaders are identified, sent on specific trainings, both overseas and within the system. And that enabled us to have a number of women leaders as deans, as provosts, and also as deputy vice chancellors. By the time I was concluding my term, we had a lady deputy vice chancellor, and we have at least 2 lady deans and 1 lady provost. So that shows how we have been able to encourage not just male leadership, but also female leadership. And we ensure that the issue of mentorship was taken very seriously at the various levels.
Yeah, so we leave Nigeria now and we are heading westwards, far westwards to Senegal. Let's look at good practices from Senegal.
I am Mohamed Yurisal, professor at Gaston Berger University in Senegal. I am professor in computer science. Our experience in mentorship is we meet together 1 time at a week. Professor and student, we exchange the bad practice and the best practice. We exchange what is wrong, what is good in our teaching, in the participation of a student, how they can participate in our lecture, how they can do, what we can do as professor, and the student, what they can do as a student. We exchange 1 time for week or 1 time for month. That is our experience in mentorship.
Thank you, Professor Sal. You really did well. moving the thoughts from French to English. Your English is quite nice. We now move on to the anchor leg of tour of selected African countries to Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone, where we have one of the oldest, universities, Furabe College of University of Sierra Leone, and we're going to be reaching the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Professor SPT Bamanja, on Skype. Okay, you can start now.
Yeah, my name is Professor Bamanja, the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Public College. The mental situation at Public College is just taking a good step. For over decades, not having any mentoring program, and this really resulted into very seasonal problems. And the exam has also been on the issue. So this year we started focusing on mentoring. We have established a counseling and career center that does a lot of mentoring for our students, and this has proved successful. Through that, they have been able to know many of our students. The second mentoring level is at the students and notation level, wherein students are trying to assist lecturers to supervise their expectations and activities. It's not very successful at the organization level because of the numbers of students that lecturers will have. But at the postgraduate level, we are encouraging lecturers to be very close to their students, tutor them, mentor them, and apart from just supervising their activities. This is proven very promising. So these are the two levels of mentoring that we are currently embarking on at Public College. Counseling center is doing very well.
Wonderful. Yeah, Professor Bamanja, SPT Bamanja. What are Sir PT Bamanja of Furabe College, Deputy Vice Chancellor? What are the challenges that your university is facing with regard to implementing the mentorship program, and how have you been able to overcome these challenges? Maybe a quick listing of this, and then an explication of how you've been able to address them.
Well, the primary challenge currently is that our students were residential, but the hostels got dilapidated with age. This happens to be the oldest institution in West Africa, and our hostels got dilapidated. We didn't have any funds to refurbish those hostels. I would send away all the students downtown. They have been downtown for the past 3 years. But luckily, the government has just been able to talk with some funds, be able to renovate the work. The work has not started yet. Now, this has resulted to so many students by problem because they are not under our control.
Yeah.
Because of the problems. Exam malpractice is on the increase, general indiscipline is on the increase. So this has made us focus on student behavior now. And one of the things that has made us address this is that we focus on mentoring. We think that that's one way we be able to handle students in discipline. We don't know them, we want to know them better. And to know them better, we feel that we attack them to lecturers who can talk to them, tutor them, counsel them, and know them a little better. And that's where we set up the counseling and career center, like I said, is doing very, very well.
Wonderful.
So I think we are proceeding in that way.
Wonderful. Thank you so very much, and please keep up the good work.
Thank you very much. Thank you,
Thank you, Professor Sir P.T. Bamanja of the University of Sierra Leone, Furabe College. We apologize for the poor quality of the Skype connection. We now come to the end of this episode. Thanks for being part of it. From us at the Global University Network for Innovation Africa, it is bye for now.